Good morning. All right, guys. Does everybody have their learning guide out? When you get it out, go ahead and hold it up so I can see that everybody has it out. Does anybody need one? All right. How many of you guys have on pajamas today? Yeah? You want to raise your hand if you have on pajamas? So a quick story about myself. I used to work at a bank, and I was working on getting this multi-millionaire's accounts transferred from another bank to our bank at my branch. We're talking, he had hundreds of millions of dollars, right? Big guy, owned hundreds of stores, and one day it was really late, and I needed to run to the store and grab some poster board. I was already in my pajamas, no makeup, my hair was a mess, and all my slippers. And I went to a Walmart, and I saw him there, and it was humiliating. It was so embarrassing. And he transferred some of his money, but not his investments. And so the bank lost millions because I wore my pajamas to Walmart. And it was so humiliating that I've never worn pajamas in public again. So I put on my pajamas this morning, right? And I'm walking around the house like, I can do this. I can go to school in my pajamas. It's okay. And I was having an anxiety attack. I couldn't handle it. So after I dropped the kids off at the babysitter, I went back home and changed because I just couldn't handle it. So it's not that I don't have school spirit. I really tried, but it was too much. All right. Everybody, you look so tired. Can you stand up and stretch real quick? Because when your butt gets numb, your brain gets numb. So just stand up. Or stretch in your seat. I don't care about arms up. Everybody, arms up. Stretch. Oh. Look, put your arms down. Yeah, you feeling a little better? All right. So today isn't quite as high energy as we've been the last couple days. So that's good, since it's Monday and we're still getting into the groove. Today we're gonna do a quick review of what we've done the last couple of days. Get your minds going, kind of remind you of what we've been talking about. We're gonna work on our JWL chart. I'm gonna remind you of the keywords and the essential questions. And then we've got an activity where you guys are gonna do some critical analysis. So on the Bloom's taxonomy of learning, you guys will be up here in the analyzing. You do a little bit higher level thinking than you were doing last time. The first day we just remembered some information. The next day we understood it a little bit deeper. Today we're going to be analyzing it. We're going to do some comparison and contrasting. And because you guys learn best when you teach each other, you're going to do a little bit more teaching each other today. Similar to what we did last time, but a little different. And then we're going to finish up your chapter 5 reading guide from immigration. And if we have time, we'll work on your narratives, because those are due soon. Does that sound good?
Did anyone dress up today?
Yes.
Okay.
Any freshmen in here?
Any freshmen dressed up? In your sweats and stuff? Nope. Okay. Sophomores?
I get 2, right?
You get 10.
I get 10.
Dressed up.
Should I give them to the
Class you're
juniors?
choosing.
I don't know. They look pretty lazy.
Who are you choosing?
Yeah, they're juniors. They're juniors.
Credit for juniors? Alright.
You're welcome.
Any juniors that are dressed up?
We got a couple here.
We got a few.
There we go.
Just stand up.
What? Stand up.
Stand up.
You're dressed up.
There you go.
That'll make it easier to
Oops.
count.
Hey, I didn't want to do this.
Sit
There you go.
Any seniors? No? Okay, great, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. I got it. Where did your buttons go? Look like your buttons.
Oh, it's right here.
Oh, my clicker.
Yeah, you gotta have a clicker. Make sure it's on.
Alright guys. So we're gonna look back at this chart. Can you see that? Alright, so what did, you can go ahead and look for your notes. And remember last time we were on this page. So what did we learn last class that you didn't know before? Anybody have any ideas? Alright.
We learned that they went on strike.
Okay, that was part of, let's see, they were striking. Right. What social problem was that under?
Oh.
Workers' rights, okay. Jenna, can you tell us another one of the social problems that we looked at yesterday? Or last time? You have one? Okay, what, issue was that? Women's rights. Okay, and you said they didn't get a vote, so you talked about suffrage? Okay, I heard a couple others. Jenna, what did you have? Child labor. Zayeda?
I was gonna say that one.
Okay, what did Diana have? Okay, we had women's rights. Is there something new you learned about women's rights that you didn't know before? No? Jacob, what did you have? Alcohol. Alcohol was a problem back then. What did people think was wrong with alcohol, with the use of alcohol? Someone from this side of the class? How about Henry?
It's a waste of money.
Uh-huh. Was, now something that you guys,
Families.
and it hurt families. Did it hurt families just financially, or were there other ways that people felt it was hurting? Huh? Business, what else? Besides money? Emotional. There was, abuse, I think I heard abuse. What else did I hear? Yes, speak up so I can hear you.
Organized crime.
And crime. Let's see. What was wrong with child labor? Why was that such a problem? Hi, Connor. You're done? Alright. So it was more likely for a child to get hurt on the job than an adult. You can go ahead and get your learning guide out from last time, okay? Okay? Good? I saw a hand back there. What was it? Just say it.
Children, they're not women.
And school, there you go. Alright, good job. So, from this point going forward, this is what we had the first day. You guys only knew a couple tiny things about social problems in the progressive era. And look at how much you've learned. And you're gonna learn a little bit more today. Is there anything that you guys are still wondering about? Anything you want to know? Question you have about everything we've been talking about? Just a question. Somebody has something. You don't even have to really want to know, just a question that we might be able to answer in the next few days.
How different is the alcohol issue then than today?
That is perfect. So what's the difference between alcohol-related issues then and now? Perfect, and that is a great lead-in into what we're going to be doing today, because we're going to be looking at current different issues related to the exact same thing as what was going on in the early 20th century. All right, everybody turn back to this first page of your learning guide. You can see it. Okay. We're gonna have a quick quiz over these key concepts and a question related to this essential question in a few days. So I wanted to point those out to you one more time. Make sure you know what these key concepts are. And when we did our mind map, I had you put a square around those key concepts. So when you're studying, you go back to look at it, remember that the square went. So go ahead and put a big star next to your key concepts, put a square around it to remind you that the terms with a square on them are the important terms, okay? We've got progressivism, muckraker, suffrage, social gospel, reform, and then just being able to know what are the social issues we've been talking about. Right? And remember that this essential question, why do we study historical social problems? And if you pay attention today, you'll get that answer, okay? All right. You guys feeling okay?
Yeah.
All right. What was, do you remember slant? What was the S for? Can you guys sit up in your seats real quick? And what was the N for? Nod. Can I get y'all to nod a little bit? Say yes, Miss Evan. We're here. Okay. So, last time you guys worked in mastery groups, and you became the master of your social issue, right? You learned all about it, and then you taught your peers. So whatever your social issue is that you focused on last time, write it in this box right here on this page. Which box? This one. Oh. Right here. This one. Does everybody see it? Okay. Does anybody have an idea what is going to go in that other box?
Probably a different issue.
What's the opposite of that? The same issue. So write the same thing in the other box. You're going to compare the same thing. What you're comparing is how it was an issue in the early 20th century to how it's an issue now. And then as you move on in this unit, when you start looking at how progressive movement address these issues, you can think about how movements today are addressing the same or similar issues. All right. So you guys are going to do this independently. At first, you're going to work quietly at your desk. You're going to use these resources that I have up here, and I'll give you instructions in just a minute. You're going to compare and contrast. Let's see. I had a really cool video, but I was having trouble getting it to work. Okay. What is the definition of compare when you compare and contrast? You're looking at how they're the same, right? So what is this called? Venn diagram. Where do you put stuff that is the same? In the middle, right? Here's where you do your compare. What is contrast? Say it nice and loud. The difference. And where do you do that in your Venn diagram? In the outside, right? So comparing and contrasting is a really great analytical skill to have. It helps you understand things. And let's see. So when you guys are comparing and contrasting your issues, you're going to compare the 20th century to now, and you're going to find two differences. that means you're gonna put one in each side, at least, and 2 similarities. So you're gonna write 2 bullet points in the center here. See? Like that, right?
Yeah.
Alright. How many differences? 2. 1 in each side. How many similarities? 2 in the middle. Perfect. And you can just write short bullet points. They don't have to be full sentences. These are notes for you. I want to see that you guys are gonna have 1, 2, and 1 ideas written in there, but I'm not gonna like check them for spelling or things like that. Grammar. So Venn diagram, you guys got that? Alright. So how should we do this? Come up and get an article related. So if your group last time worked on alcohol, you're gonna get one of the alcohol articles. If your group was worker safety last time, you're gonna get a worker safety article. You're gonna take it back to your desk. You're gonna read it. They're fairly short, about a page. Pay attention because they're front and back. Read it and work on your Venn diagram. You guys will have about 10 or 15 minutes to do this. And then we'll teach each other. All right? Everybody clap once. Everybody clap twice. All right. So, did anybody have any troubles filling in any part of this? I saw a couple of you guys were having a hard time. What, did you have a harder time filling in the outside or the inside? The inside? Some of you guys I saw had a hard time figuring out what's the difference because these are so similar. And you guys were finding that they were so different that you couldn't fill in the inside? Okay. Okay. Alright, so at the bottom of the page, this is what we're going to work on next. So your current social issue is all going to be the same, right? So you can go ahead and write that in, but when you talk to someone about it, you're also going to write what specifically is the issue. So those of you who became masters on worker safety, you learned that there are people still being exposed to harmful chemicals and pesticides, right? So you're just going to write like a word or two to remind you what the current social is that we learned about. And then you're going to talk to somebody and they're going to tell you one key thing to know about that issue. So, how many of you have done a tea party before? Alright. So, before we get to that, whatever your topic is, write one key thing that you think you need to tell. If somebody else knows nothing about child labor, then and now, what is one key thing you would tell them? You only have one sentence. So write that in right now. I'll give you just a minute, okay? So I see that most of you have something written down over there.
She didn't sign
If you haven't got it quite yet, keep working on it. What we're going to do next is call the tea party. And this will involve you guys getting out of your seat and walking around and talking to people. You're going to walk around and you're going to find someone who became a master on a social issue topic other than your own. So if I'm a worker safety person, I'm going to go find a workers' right person, and then I'm going to go find a child labor person, and then I'm going to go find an alcohol person, and then a women's right person. And I'm going to ask them, first I'm going to say, okay, what was your article about? And I'm gonna write a quick note in that middle column, right? So if I'm talking to someone on child labor, I'll be like, okay, what was your article about? And they're gonna say, it was about migrant child workers in Oregon. And then I say, okay, what is one key thing I should know about the relationship between child labor now and child labor then? And put the question that you need to ask each other up there in big and bold. Does everybody see it? Alright? And then you're gonna write it down. You're gonna write it down in the other post. And you're gonna walk around until you get everything filled out in this chart. So that way you guys teach each other and you all know what current issues were happening then and what related current issues are happening now. Does that make sense? Can I get a nod if it makes sense? Is anybody confused and need additional directions? Any questions? All right, ready, go. I want to see everybody up and walking around, okay?
What was the current social issue? And what's one?
Oh, that wasn't community.
Okay, so.
This is just workers' rights.
Make sure you get up and walk over what's like. You guys have about 7 minutes to do this.
I had alcohol.
Injuries.
Family and
The current social issue is just Joe.
Yeah, so the chat is from work, right? So we're gonna ask them whatever.
And then one key thing to know is people were coming.
I don't like it. Sorry.
People were coming. I'm talking. What you got? Workers' rights? I got child labor.
Workers' rights.
Where'd you go? I had alcohol. Oh shit. It has to come with you.
So they get injured 4 times more.
Oh, good, moving, teaching each other. Come on, Mom. Answer me. What do you have? If you guys are looking for a specific issue, still go ahead and say it next round. Someone's looking for child labor.
What's alcohol?
Who got worker safety?
I've never had it.
I don't have.
Alright, when you're all done, if you got them all, go ahead and sit back in your seat. We have a few people finishing up, so if you are done and you're sitting in your seat already, go ahead and bring that article that you read back up and put it where it goes in the right pile. Okay. Everybody get this table all filled out? Everybody? Yeah, thumbs up. Did you get it all filled? Nice and high. Thumbs up if you got it all filled out. Okay. Yeah? See, I see some thumbs up. Good job. All right, so alcohol people. You read this article. Real quick, can you share with the rest of the class what was your article? What was the main point?
We lived in the day, it was like 2 times more job.
Did everybody hear him?
Yeah.
So basically what he said is that in Oregon, you are twice as likely to die of liver disease than anywhere else in the US because we have such a booming alcohol industry. And so that is a pretty real alcohol-related issue that's happening here in Oregon today. It's very similar to what was happening in the early 20th century. Does anybody want to share one key thing to know about alcohol now, or then, or compare? No? You don't want to do this together? Want to move on? Yeah? Something. Anything. Okay. Women's rights. Read this article. Does anybody want to share what that is about? Yeah.
Women aren't being paid equal amount of the same occupation.
Right. So, what did it say? How many cents on the dollar are women getting paid? Women are getting paid about 82 cents for every dollar that a man makes in Oregon. And what is the day? Did it say? I think I might have cut it out. April 12th, April 16th. So basically, April 16th or April 12th, sometime in there, is called Equal Pay Day, and that means that women would have to work a whole year and then all the way back to April 16th to make as much as a man would have made in just that first year. So it's when we celebrate, well, not celebrate, but that's Equal Pay Day. What about child labor? You guys read this article. Does anybody want to keep point? Nice and loud. Inadequate safety rules. So a little bit more. Who's getting hurt on the job more? Children? Children. So children are still at a higher risk of being injured on the job, like they were back in the early 20th century. And if you think that children, young kids, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, still aren't working on farms and getting hurt, that's not true. This was a story about child labor happening in the northern part of Oregon, so up by San Luigi, Portland. All right. Workers' rights read this article. Does someone want to summarize it for me? Vicente, I know you read this one.
Well, it is about Protestants for the wages. They want more than $15.
All right, so there's an organization that's pushing for a $15 minimum wage in Oregon and really kind of countrywide. Do you remember what that organization was called? It's called 15 Now, and they, this is a very local issue. There's a local chapter of 15 Now based out of Medford. Same thing that was happening back in the early 20th century. People are saying, what I'm getting paid is not enough. I'm having to get public assistance. I'm having to work 2 full-time jobs. This isn't working. And so people are still fighting for living wages. What about this? What social issue is this related to? Who read this one? Anybody? Worker safety. All right, Jack.
It was inadequate protection for like a worker's well-being.
Right. So what had this person been exposed to? Do you remember what he was doing?
He was a delivery.
Right. So he sprays pesticides on timberland, so that way, when trees are replanted for harvesting, they don't have to compete with other plants. So it's these pesticides to kill like weeds and other shrubs. And what was one of his main complaints?
That the compartment he was sitting in wasn't like completely sealed off.
Right, he's being exposed, which is almost some of the identical unsafe conditions, talking about reforms for safer working environments. These are almost some of the identical language that we used to talk about worker safety in the early 20th century. He said he didn't even have gloves, and he's working with harmful pesticides. He had to go to the hospital, and he was in the hospital for a couple of weeks. Pretty big case. Right, guys, so do we have any questions about this? All right. I have one important question and then we'll move on. How does doing this help you today in your lives?
Makes us more aware of the issues
Say it nice and loud, Jacob.
makes us more aware of issues going on.
Makes you more aware of the issues going on. And how does comparing and contrasting help you?
How much has changed over time and how they're getting better.
Of how much they've changed, but also
Still not.
and how things are still the same. Understanding these guys back here can help you understand these articles right here. Can help you understand. One little seed I want to put in your brain. This was on the back of the alcohol. A lot of people compare marijuana prohibition to the alcohol prohibition in the early 1900s. So by understanding the historical event of prohibition can help you understand marijuana prohibition and marijuana legalization today. Does that make sense? All right.